Hey guys, King of Charmanders here, aka Hiku. Alright, so today we are going to see the woolly mammoth. I call it Bacon. Actually, this is Bacon's evolved form, and it's called Mamoswine. Now, you see that thing over there? It looks really cool, right? Well, that's not actually how it looks. I wish that's how it looked. It would look much cooler than it does actually in its regular form. But anyways, Mamoswine's kind of weird, and the reason why it's kind of weird is because it's this Pokemon that has great moves. It's just Premier Cup is really interesting with the prominence of steel types and the fact that Mamoswine with energy can actually take on those ground types. Can it leave you quaking, or will you just freeze in the next Ice Age after it hits you with that avalanche? We're about to find out shortly. But before that, Mamoswine's actually really good for Premier Cup. It can really shake the meta if, like I said, you can get that energy advantage, slash, it does kind of cause you to panic, like, wow, this thing can do a lot of damage, which it can at max level 40. Mamoswine can do a lot of damage, and let's take a look just how good it is for the newly coined Premier Cup that's coming shortly. So like I said, how many of y'all like bacon? I love bacon. And we have number 473 Big Mammoth Tusk Bacon thingy that actually has like really cool snow goggles, as you see right here, for like surrounding its eyes. It's like the most adorable thing in the world. Well, not really. It looks just like it looks pissed off. It looks like it wants to kill you, and it looks like it just wants to wreck you with oblivion, and it will wreck you if you piss it off and if it gets rolling. So Mamoswine's max CP is 3328 as a perfect. It's you see right as you see right here, it's a very glass cannon type of mod. It hits really freaking hard, but unfortunately its defense is really low, so you got to be careful about those weaknesses that it has. And you just got to keep in mind that if you look over here, it doesn't have very many resistances. You resist poison, you also resist electric. Now, because of that, Mamoswine isn't really like as a wall. Mamoswine isn't able to be used as a wall. You are weak against fighting, fire, grass, steel, and water. Steel looks to be very common in Premier Cups, so that's why you had to be kind of be careful with Mamoswine. Even with that, ground does take out steel types, and it also takes out fire types. So it's very interesting. It has a very interesting move pool. It's also very powerful if you can land those really strong charge moves. Like I said, I love it. It's bacon. It has a really cute design. It's shiny, unfortunately. It looks like puke. So if you're expecting a shiny that looks dazzling and magnificent, I'm sorry, you're not going to get anything like that. You can go look it up on Google, and it's just going to really disappoint you. Anyways, we go below here, and as you see here, there's my original bacon, the original baconizer, and then there is the small bacon. I call it mini bacon. That's mini bacon, which is swine up. And then you have thick bacon. Well, this is thick bacon. That's bacon. Okay, enough about bacon. But yeah, bacon is really good. Anyways, so you got Mud Slap, you got Avalanche, you got Powder Snow. Now, the thing about this is you probably want... Now, Mud Slap isn't a bad move, but the key strength of Mamoswine lies in the fact it has Avalanche and Bulldoze. Now, with that being said, Powder Snow does charge pretty quickly. If you like Frostless, if you like the Ice Queen, it's pretty much the same thing for Thick Bacon here. Thick Bacon is going, well, it's not really thick because he can't really do it, but he's a big boy. He's a big boy. Big Boy Bacon. Big Boy Bacon. Big Boy Bacon is very powerful. Now, the thing about Big Boy Bacon is that if you didn't play a lot, like before, in like Generation 3, I would say, you could still find Swinubs, but nowadays Swinubs are kind of rare. So if you do have it though, like, it's not very expensive to power up. As you see, it only takes 50,000 Stardust and 50 Candy. There has been a lot of ice events where Swineup has been spawning a lot, so you don't really have to worry about the fact that you don't have candy for it, or you might even already have one built. The purpose of this video is to show you whether or not Bacon is really in fact going to wreck in this lead, and it's very powerful. As you see, its Pokedex entry, its Impressive tucks are made out of ice. The population thinned when it turned warm after the Ice Age. And as you saw here, its shiny variant looks like freaking puke. It is disgusting. It goes from a solid gold from Piloswine to absolute puke as a Mamoswine. Now I'm going to stop talking crap about Mamoswine because Mamoswine is actually pretty cool. It's cute, it's cuddly, it's amazing. I love Mamoswine. And it is a force to be reckoned with for the Premier Cup. Alright, so here's pvpoke.com, the website I know and love, and like I say in every one of my videos, please consider contributing at GitHub or Patreon. The human being, Matt Sama, that makes this website and develops it and keeps it running, allows me and many other battlers to become the best we can possibly be. So please consider donating if you can. So we're going to get to the rankings. Now, Mamoswine is very powerful. However, the reason why Mamoswine, you got to be careful. Remember when I was talking about those glass cannon stats right here? Even though it does rank number 9 overall, your big weakness is it loses to Dragonite, even though Dragonite is double weak to ice. And the reason being is because it's just so glassy. Dragon Breath does chunk, and it's very, very dangerous. However, if you see, as you see here, if you are able to get those matchups, as you see, it is very powerful as a closer, a switch, and it's rated very high as a charger. It also has a very high consistency. What does that mean? That means Mamoswine is a beast. If you can get energy advantage, if you have shield advantage, if you play it right, Mamoswine can run over a lot of things just because it does so much damage. As you see here, it's incredibly powerful. It's ranked number 9 overall. And if we take a look at its positionings, or if its overall matchups with shields, with the one shield with Avalanche and Bulldoze, you win over 50% matchups. That doesn't look very good on paper. However, if you do explore the no shield scenario, where it does no shields, if we do the no shield scenario, we go from 58 to 63. So as a closer, it's very powerful. As you see here, it drops to 60. My standard 60%. 60% is good to me, or can be doable, and Mamoswine does fit that agenda. That's the no shields and the one shields, and then here's the two shields. And that's the two shields, which is 54%. So not completely bad. If you do happen to best buddy it and use it as your level 41 slot, it does get more powerful. As you see here, there's 55. We go to one shields. It does manage to gain some extra like oomph to it. However, like I said, as long as you have shield or energy advantage, it does good. It does improve, not dramatically, but it does well if you have a level 41 and you best buddy it. That's if you want to give it to slot. There are other things you can give it to. If you do choose to give it to Mamoswine, though, it does get a little boost. So again, back to the rankings over here. Mamoswine rates at number 9 overall. Very powerful ice type. Also great coverage. Now, if we go here to Premier Cup, and we go to the leads, Mamoswine rates at number 21. Now, Mamoswine is great in the lead because you beat things like Togekiss, Garchomp, Snorlax, Rhyperior, and Magnezone. However, Metagross is still very scary. And like I said, even though Dragonite is double weak, because of Dragon and because of Flying, you still die to it because Dragon Breath does so much damage. As a closer, Mamoswine ranks at lucky number 7. It is very strong. In this scenario, when things don't have shields, you beat Dragonite, you beat Togekiss, you get Garchomp. You effectively flip what happened before. And it's because Avalanche does so much damage. Now, as a closer, Mamoswine will work best. Try to keep shields. You can use it as a lead, but as you see here, as number 21 as a lead, as a closer, it works best. And as a safe switch, Mamoswine rates at number 89, which isn't super high, but it's doable just because Mamoswine will force you to break shields, especially if you switch into a favorable matchup. Your opponent will be like, oh my gosh, I have to get rid of this thick bacon thingy. Well, not thick bacon, big bacon. You gotta get rid of big bacon. So big bacon must go. So that's our analysis overall. Overall, it seems like to be the best is you either use it as a switch or a closer. I'm going to try and use for the simulations. We're going to figure out whether or not Big Bacon is really good as a safe switch and really good as a closer. Now, because it's an ice type, I think it would be best to pair it with a great lead, which would probably be Togekiss. I'm going to try Togekiss in the lead, and then we're going to use we're going to try to use it as kind of like a pseudo switch. So we'll do Metagross as a switch. I like using the Togekiss core because it really shows you with two really strong Mons with that core. They really do complement each other and they're very powerful. So we're going to use Togekiss, Metagross, and we're going to do, for our training simulations, we're going to do Mamoswine in the back. Or use it as a switch. We'll see how it functions then. So we'll do Togekiss in the front. Togekiss in the front. Followed by... Oh, wait, hold on. Let me switch this. I like doing Master League first. And then you go ahead and do it... No, wait, not Master League. I go to Premier Cup. Got Premier Cup, you do that, yada yada, you put the auto tap, give it Togekiss, then we're gonna do Metagross, and then we'll do Mamoswine in the back. I use this a lot just because Mamoswine, like these are two very when you pair up a really powerful core with a closer, it can be very powerful. Wait, hold on, why am I doing closer? This is Mamoswine. Right, there we go. We have Mamoswine, and then we have right. Go to Bulldoze. There you go. We'll do that. So here we go. We're gonna give it a shot. We're gonna run 3 battles, and we're just gonna see how good Mamoswine is as a closer and as a switch. We get Togekiss versus Glaceon. This is absolutely horrific. You never want this matchup. All right, so I'm going to switch into the Metagross, and we're going to get a Charizard switched into us. This is not ideal at all. We're gonna go up for the Earthquake, and then we'll fire the Meteor Mash. I have to shield here. I would like to take Charizard to the zeros, but Charizard unfortunately just wipes our entire line, which isn't great at all. I'm gonna go for the Meteor Mash to try to break shields. Our best case scenario here is that we can break both shields. And now, the problem, that's what sucks. Unfortunately, Charizard is just a really, really powerful mon. And we're going to try to get to I'm going to try to get to another Mirror Mash. The good thing about Charizard is that it's not particularly bulky. So Charizard can take a lot of damage regardless, even if these are being resisted right now. Hopefully we draw the second shield. We do draw the second shield, which is really great. So we're going to let our poor Metagross go. We popped both shields, and now our opponent elects to Dragon Claw. Which is great. We have a shield, so hopefully we won't get to a second Meteor Mash. That's okay. But we're gonna be able to. So I'm gonna send in. So I'm gonna send in Togekiss. Actually, I could send in Mamoswine, but Mamoswine is weak against these Blast Burns. So we don't want to have Mamoswine die really quickly on us. They managed to use Dragon Claw. AI actually debates the crap out of me. And that's not good, because now we are going to get hit with a Blast Burn or a Dragon Claw. Kudos to the AI though, just to be able to do that. And Blast Burn, as you see, chunks heavy damage against us. Now we're in a no shield scenario. So here we go. We have Swampert in the back, which is absolutely horrific. Unfortunately, this is GG's because Swampert's Hydro Cannon does a lot of damage to our poor Big Bacon in the back. As you see, I will switch it in, and you will just see how much one Hydro Cannon just chunks this poor thing. Especially since it's a glass cannon, we don't have energy advantage, and we don't have any shields. Unfortunately, Mamoswine is going to take a lot of damage from this Hydro Cannon, and we still manage to live, but as you see, Swampert gets 2 Hydro Cannons off because all the energy it gathered. So unfortunately, Mamoswine does take it to the face. And there you go. That is GG's. We can probably take out. No, we won't be able to take out the Glaceon. Losing that lead hurt hard. Mamoswine. We try. That wasn't good. That wasn't good. We're gonna go to battle 2. Play that kind of horribly. Metagross into a Togekiss. This is not ideal. This also really sucks. So we have Togekiss. We're going to switch into our own Metagross, and then we're going to just hope and pray that our opposing Metagross opponent is not actually running Earthquake. I'm going to build up to an Earthquake. This is probably likely, very likely an Earthquake. I'm going to shield. Perfect. We got the Earthquake because they were on energy advantage. I'm going to try to debate our opponent here. Unfortunately, they do switch into a Snorlax. That's great, actually. We don't want Metagross in with our Metagross anymore. Or, actually, it's okay. It would have been okay either way, but we managed to save all this energy. We're going to pop 2 shields here. Going to build up to that Earthquake, and we're just going to fire these Meteor Mashes off. This is what's great. If the Snorlax eats it, it's going to take heavy damage, and then we can just send Togekiss in. Alright, we grab both shields, which is great. We want both shields here. So we're going to grab both shields here. I'm going to fire one more Meteor Mash, and then hopefully this puts this Snorlax within kill range. Snorlax is going to have to use its energy at one point. It means it's either gathering for a body slam or something really big. Snorlax has a really deep move pool. That's what makes it really, really, really dangerous. Alright, Snorlax elects to fire before we get our next Meteor Mash. That's fine. This is okay. So there's the body slam. And now we are up a shield, and we can send in Mamoswine. Now, this is going to hurt a little bit. However, I want shield advantage here. As you see it, we do get another body slam. It's not that damaging to our poor baby Mamoswine. I'm not going to shield here either. We want to save
Mamoswine for whatever's in the back. That, and I still have Togekiss, which I can sack out. Alright, so we do get a Machamp, and this is incredibly bad, because we may have Mamoswine with energy, however, that means our poor Togekiss is going to line up with that. Our Togekiss will line up with that Metagross in the back, and we have a shield. So even though we have a shield, I might be able to get to a flamethrower. However, this is a very bad situation right now. I might be able to get to. I should be able to shield this, get a flamethrower, and then we might be able to charm down the. Might be able to charm down that Machamp, but at this point, I don't know how much energy this Metagross actually has. So we might actually get to another one before we get to a Meteor Mash. So we don't actually. We're able to get to the flaming of throwers. We're able to throw fire in front of this poor Metagross's face. Metagross goes down, and then we can charm down this Machamp in the back. This is actually, we probably won't be able to. This is probably, even if this is not, this is a rock slide. Yes, that's a rock slide, and we're going to have the powder snow down, which is unfortunate because this thing is just going to punch us and we lose. GG's. And that's just unfortunate because we did have the Machamp in the back. That's not good. That's not good. We get Metagross versus Togekiss again. This is not good. This is so bad. Why do we keep getting... Here's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to stay in here and break a shield because we want to have you with no shields, or at least their Togekiss has very minimal play here. As you see, Togekiss's best strength is if it does happen to be able to break a shield. We're going to pretend we're going to go for a flamethrower here just for... Oh my gosh, it actually gets a Meteor Mash off. So we're going to shield again, and I'm going to have no shields in the back, which is really bad. This is actually horrible. Now, Metagross has 2 shields. Our Togekiss is going to die. Hopefully we manage to pop a shield here. We do grab a shield. That's good. I'd rather have a shield than no shield. Just going to let our poor Togekiss go. And now we have Metagross on Metagross action here. Now, this is what makes it difficult. Unless we hard counter whatever's in the back, we're pretty much dead. It's okay. That's really what it is. Remember I was saying the Togekiss Metagross core is just really, really powerful. Without any shields, we will die here, unfortunately. And Ice beats Steel. So this is just a really bad team comp. I'm going to not suffocate anymore. So because of this, Fire does take out all of our entire team. So I'm going to switch up our lead, and instead of having a Togekiss, we'll actually put... We'll do this. We'll put Magnezone in front. We'll put a Magnezone to bait shields, we'll do Metagross, and then we'll close out with that. And we'll try this. I'll do this for 3 battles to see if it makes any major difference. It does, because we get Togekiss versus Magnezone. This is beautifully weird. We get a switch into a Metagross. Now, I'm going to do a double wild charge here. Actually, I'm going to try to Mirror Shot bait. If I Mirror Shot bait here, we grab an enormous advantage. Especially if I get a debuff. We get the debuff. That's beautiful. Now I can wild charge here. Now Metagross is this is probably a Meteor Mash. I'm gonna let it through. That is a Meteor Mash. Great. That's awesome. Because we resist both. We double resist that because of the electric and the steel typing. I will be able to get a wild charge off. And then if they don't shield this, it's gonna suck. If they do shield it, ouch. Okay, so we do get that off. I'm gonna send in my own Metagross here. Now we're gonna let it. You hit the Meteor Mash on me, so I have a shield. So I'm just gonna gather all this energy, and then we're gonna force your final shield and probably get something in the back. We're able to farm down. I didn't really need to do this, but as we see, we do catch the Earthquake, and I can just farm down. We have a Metagross with whatever you have in the back with energy. We get a Dragonite. That's perfectly fine. I'm gonna go ahead and hit up the Meteor Mash because we still do heavy damage. And we have Dragonite lined up against Mamoswine. As you see, our Meteor Mash does a lot of damage. Our poor opponent doesn't know we have something in the back, and Dragon Breaths are resisted because of my Metagross steel typing. So we get the Meteor Mash off. Meteor Mash will go off. Our opponent may or may not elect to shield. They don't. They let the Dragonite go. This is great. We have Togekiss. We have a Metagross that's almost dead. We are vibing right now. We have a lot of play right now, which is great. They elect to send out the Togekiss again. So Togekiss is going to go ahead and attempt to try to farm down here. I'm going to shoot another Meteor Mash. This is a great lead for us. We are at a huge advantage right now. Meteor Mash does go off. Opponent is going to shield this, and then we are just going to let our Metagross go. Absolute domination. Because we are going to be able to get another one. We don't. I'm going to save the shield. Metagross is going to get KO'd out of this, no matter what move it is, even if it's in power, airless, etc. Metagross is so hurt right now. And it goes down. And now we're going to send in Mamoswine. Mamoswine is just going to go ahead and farm down. And then we are just going to ice the crap out of you. Or we won't even need to ice you. Actually, we're just going to ice you. We win with the shield. We ice the Togekiss. This is GG's. I figured Magnezone, even if it didn't win the lead, it's very much a shield breaker, and Mamoswine with shield advantage and energy advantage is a monster. So then we can start sweeping the back. As you see here, Metagross did a lot of work for us. We're going to do another match. We get Caesar versus Magnezone. This isn't completely bad because we do resist those bullet punches. Our opponent elects to switch out from a Swampert. So Swampert does come out here. This is kind of scary because I'm going to shoot these mirror shots. This is scary because we really don't have anything that counters Swampert, unfortunately. And these Hydro Cannons will chunk. And we managed to get some mirror shots off. I'm going to shield here. Yeah, actually I'm going to let it go. I will let you fire. Oh, it's an Earthquake. Okay, never mind. I should have shielded. Okay, I did even worse. That's bad. As you see, Swampert is very powerful in this meta. So we're pretty much going to lose this matchup here. Because what's going to happen here is this. Swampert's going to take out our poor Metagross, and then Mamoswine is dead, and that's GG's. So I'm gonna do one more battle, but as you see here, Mamoswine does have play, but you need energy and shield advantage back. We get Magnezone versus a Machop, and we seem to be losing every lead in this simulator right now. I'm going to save switch into our Mamoswine, and we'll just see how much it showcases as a switch. Unfortunately, this Machop does heavy damage with these counters, so this is not a comfortable situation to be in at all. So we're going to hit the avalanches off. We're going to break a shield, but unfortunately our poor Mamoswine won't be able to live to see the light of day. We might be able to get to another avalanche. If we do, this is great. Okay, we don't get to another one. That's bad. And unfortunately, this Machamp's just going to go to town. I should be able to shield one, but I don't really need to shield anything because Machamp doesn't do a lot of damage here. We get to Swampert in the back. We're going to be able to Meteor Mash down. Unfortunately, Swampert is just such a force to be reckoned with. Hopefully, it shields over here so that we can hit it with an Earthquake and then take it out of our lives. Nope, we cannot. Boy is, in fact, very, very powerful, and that's why people use that Swampert, because Swampert's just so strong. I have 2 shields here. Our opponent does have a shield though, but they have a lot of play here, so they can elect to shield this if they want to. That, or they can let Swampert go. Our opponent does elect to do a shield, and now I'm going to shield both of these because at this point I am pretty much dead. Because we don't have any energy on Magnezone. We might have a little bit of energy, so we might have the opportunity to sweep. Unfortunately, Swampert does outpace our poor Metagross. Metagross is going to struggle to survive here in this final round. Now, if we can, there's still a way to win. Don't get me wrong, there's still a way to win, but there's not a lot of play here. So I couldn't even overcharge a little bit. Never mind. That is GG's. As you see, Swampert generates so much energy so quickly that I was able to get 3 Hydro Cannons before I even blinked. And unfortunately, that does take out our Metagross. And now we have this is pretty much over. So that's losing the lead in Premier is rough. And if you want Mamoswine to work, it can't function. I don't think you can lose the lead, or it's very difficult to play around the lead. So we're going to do this. I'm going to do one more test. I'm going to run Metagross in the front, and then we'll run Togekiss in the back, and we'll see if that makes any difference. We'll run a Togekiss, we'll do this, we'll give it Ancient Power, we'll give it Flamethrower, and then we'll see what happens from here. That's what just sucks. If you lose the lead with this team, it's kind of really rough. We get meta on meta action here, so we get Metagross versus Metagross. Now this is gonna be tricky because is the AI going to throw, or is it gonna see to an Earthquake and then throw? I can expect to see to an Earthquake and then throw. There you go. We threw. Now this should break a shield. I hope. It would be nice to break a shield here because my opponent might think it's an Earthquake. We do grab a shield. That's awesome. Now, they're in range for an Earthquake. I'm going to just elect a shield here. This is probably a Meteor Mash, though. Yep, I called it. So we got the Meteor Mash. I'm going to keep on firing these, getting to Earthquake and then firing these Meteor Mashes off. That's the game plan. Again, As long as you have energy and shield advantage with Mamoswine, it's good. I don't know. It could probably you could probably use it in Elite too, but it's just I with the positioning, it makes sense to use it as a switch or a closer. That's just how good it is. Well, I'm not going to. I'm only going to shield this because that's going to be an earthquake. Yep, that's an earthquake. I called it right because we blocked this off. We managed to block both moves with that. We'll have energy for earthquake, so we actually win this unless my opponent elects to switch out. Because we were able to, yeah, there we go. Perfect. Because we were able to bait both shields with Mirror Mash. That means we have energy, or we're at an energy lead. We get the Earthquake off. Metagross does lose here. This is great for us. What do you have in the back? We get a Dragon Flying, which is also known as Dragonite. So we don't have any shields here. That's fine, though, because I do have energy on this Metagross. So we're just going to mash everything to death. Like, yeah, we're just going to mash everything, like mashed potatoes. Everything will get mashed potatoed. We will let our Metagross go, and then we'll send Togekiss. Now, Dragonite's going to elect a fire here. This is probably an Outrage or a Dragon Claw, but Togekiss does resist it because of that very typing. It's actually a Hurricane, so this is okay. Yes, it does heavy damage, but we're fine here. And we get Togekiss on Togekiss action. I'm going to send in Mamoswine right away because I want the shield. I want energy, and then all I have to do is Avalanche, and this is GG's. As you see here, we will outpace this Togekiss. We will be able to get an Avalanche out, and with no shield, our poor Togekiss is our opponent's Togekiss is now absolutely worthless. Not really worthless, but it's useless. It will get yeeted by this Avalanche, and that is GG's. As you see here, Mamoswine's great, but letting the lead is so vital that I don't know if I can recommend it to be played in a consistent team. It is very powerful in the closer. Switching into it will break shields for you. However, it just depends on what you're matched up against. And it seems to be like Premier seems to be very lead dependent. So well, not really lead dependent. It's just if you are planning to run something like Mamoswine or something like that, make sure you build a really good team around it or build a good like team to like be able to wall it so that Mamoswine can stay in the back and it can just go ahead and go to town, like raise it from the ground, and then it's gonna go to town. Yeah, that's what it is. Anyways, down to the summary, and we'll go ahead and gather up all the key points of why Mamoswine is still really good despite the fact it's a glass cannon. Alright, so as we saw, those were a lot of sims, but I really wanted to show that, like I'm just going to go straight to the extra notes, Mamoswine needs a lot of practice to be effective. Because it's kind of a glass cannon, you do need energies and shields to make it work. However, it can be good if you build the right team about it, like in the key takeaways. On the other two notes, Mamoswine can work if you have shield / energy. It almost always needs a shield against a lot of the meta. It can tank some things, but if you're up against a negative matchup, be very careful. Make sure you have shield or have extra energy. Also be very careful of steel types because Mamoswine is a glass cannon. As you saw, bullet punches do a lot of damage to it. So just be careful of that. Other than that, as long as you build the right team, as long as you do practice with Mamoswine, it can be an effective pick. But just be careful, make sure you practice, make sure you build the right team about it to cover its weaknesses, and make sure, like I said time and time again in this video, practice, practice, practice. Please like and sub. If there's anything you want me to analyze, please put in the comments, and then I'll take a look at it and get back to you as soon as possible. Make sure you guys practice a lot, especially if you're using Mamoswine. Like I said, practice a lot, build the right team about it, and it will do well. And you guys have a wonderful day.